DK back at you with another video here for the NBA main slate here on Wednesday. We got a pretty big slate. Real quick though, let's see how we did last night. So last night I hit all my double ups, most of my head-to-heads, just missed the tournaments. So it was a decent night. My final lineup was De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, Tyreek, Sabonis, Miles Turner, Bogdanovich, Josh Jackson, and Ayton. So I will continue to target bigs against Chicago. Miles Turner was low owned, he went off. Sabonis was pretty high owned, he was okay. I continue to get let down by Tyreek every single time. And then the blowout in the Kings-Suns game really killed me because I had Fox, Hield, Bogdanovich, and then the chalk, Josh Jackson, and Ayton. So if that game stays close, I definitely would have hit tournaments, but what can you do? Okay, so let's look into the slate for tonight. Again, we got a pretty big slate, so let's not waste any time here. Okay, so at the top, we got Westbrook at 11.2. I think he's pretty fair today. Again, no one on Brooklyn is going to be able to stay with Russell Westbrook. So if this game stays close, I think Westbrook could push for 60-plus fantasy points. So I do really like Westbrook today as one of possible spend-ups. Steph Curry, it's just the blowout really scares me here with Cleveland. I really think Golden State just mops the floor with the Cavs, and these star Warriors don't see the fourth quarter. But, there is a chance that the game stays close. So if it does, I think Steph and or Durant could have a pretty big game here. John Wall, I really like this game. Washington, Atlanta, I really like targeting it. You couldn't get a better matchup here than the Hawks. So John Wall, I know the price is up there a little bit, but I still think he has upside at this price. And I do really like this game because it's the highest over-under of the night. So I'm definitely considering John Wall today. Let's see, Kyle Lowry at 7.7. I'm not really afraid of targeting players against Philly anymore. They were a defense early in the year that I kind of wanted to stay away from, but they're just getting involved in blowout or in shootout after shootout. So I think Lowry as well as Kawhi, both viable today for Toronto. D'Angelo Russell, I hate seeing this guy on the slate because he's just so inconsistent, so up and down. 14, 62, 35, 45, 22, 54. You never know what he's going to do. Again, if he's going to kind of have an off shooting night, they will limit his minutes. The Nets are not afraid to limit him under 30 minutes. So there is concern, but he has huge upside. So I'm a little torn on what I want to do. I think he'll be pretty popular. So fading him and he goes off, you're going to lose. So I'm a little torn on what I want to do with D'Angelo Russell. And then you got Doncic and Dennis Smith Jr. Again, you can't really get a better matchup here than the Pelicans. Both of them seem a little underpriced. Doncic, he hasn't really flashed that upside, but he has a pretty decent floor. So I think he's pretty good for 6.7. And then Dennis Smith, 5.6. I think it's a pretty fair price for him. So I think both those guys are definitely in play. And then you got Trae Young and Jeremy Lin. Again, the matchup is ideal here against Washington. I love targeting players against the Wizards, but it's just the Hawks run such a deep rotation. I know, what's his name? Taurean Prince is out. So, it could open up a little bit more minutes for these guys, but, Atlanta has shown that when a player's out, they'll just add another guy into the rotation and continue to run that deep rotation. So, I think Trae Young is great play in GPP. 6K is just a little too cheap. If he's shooting, if he's playing good, they're going to leave him in there for close to 30 minutes. And I think he has immense upside. I don't know if I can trust it in cash, but I think he's a pretty fair play for GPPs. And then Lin, he'll only get minutes if Trae Young's playing bad. He definitely still has upside, but I think I would rather pay the extra $1,000 for Trae Young. And then as far as the value point guards, not a whole lot to see here. Okay, so let's move on to shooting guard. And Drew Holiday at 9.1. He got a big price bump after putting up 71 fantasy points. So I still think he's in play at 9.1. It's just, I guess I would really only consider him if Mirotić is out, just because that's going to open up a lot more usage. If Mirotić is out, then I would lock in Randall. Definitely consider Anthony Davis and definitely consider Drew Holiday. If Mirotic is in, I think Holiday's okay, but I think I'll look elsewhere at a price at 9.1K. DeRozan, it's just the Spurs have been getting blown out by every single team here recently. If I thought this game would stay close, then I would definitely target DeRozan and Aldridge, but they've just looked terrible. The Spurs have. Beal at 8.4, I do like this play, just because he's going to play basically the whole game, and the thing I like about him, he's been stuffing the stat sheet here recently. He's not just scoring, so I think Beal in a great matchup against Atlanta is definitely in play at 8.4K. So Jimmy Butler, this is just more of a salary thing. Jimmy Butler under 7K, I haven't seen that in forever. So I think he's firmly in play again. They've been involved in a couple of blowouts and the tough match against Memphis. So I definitely think this is a good buy low opportunity on Jimmy Butler. There are some times where he will just stand in the corner and not really be a high usage guy, but again, the salary, it's just enticing at 6.9K. Jeremy Lamb, I haven't really played him at all season, but I'm definitely considering him finally for the first time tonight. It's just his minutes seem, him and Kemba are basically the only ones with secure minutes now, and he's basically got a floor of like 30 minutes. He's going to shoot the ball a ton when he's out there. He's picking up some rebounds, a few assists. He is kind of scoring dependent, so that does scare me a little bit, but 5.9K, I do like that salary for Jeremy Lamb. Let's see. As far as cheap shooting guards, Bazemore at 4.4. If he picks up a start, I would have interest. Again, this would just be more of a salary thing. I don't want to go crazy on my Hawk exposure just because they run such a deep rotation, but the matchup is very good here. And if he picks up a start, I do think he'll play 25 plus minutes. So Bazemore, if he picks up a start, I will definitely consider him. Now, as far as these bench Cleveland guys, Burks and Clarkson both are pretty good here. Clarkson at 5.3, Burks at 4K. Again, this game might turn into a blowout. Even if it does, I think Burks and Clarkson will still get their minutes because they're coming off the bench. So I think they're kind of blowout proof. So I think both those guys are definitely in play. Okay, small forward. So Giannis at the top at 11.6, I think is pretty fair salary. He definitely still has upside. The matchup's not the best against Detroit, but it's not the worst matchup. LeBron, the only thing that concerns me is the Spurs would just look terrible, so there's definitely a blowout risk, as well as LeBron at times kind of takes games off and defers. So I don't know if I want to pay up 10.5 for LeBron. And then Durant at 10.4 with Curry back kind of limits him a bit, and there is blowout potential. So I don't know if I want to go KD today. Kawhi at 9.3, definitely considering him. Again, I'm not afraid of targeting players against Philadelphia anymore. And Kawhi, if this game stays close, I think he has huge upside. So I do like Kawhi as well as Kyle Lowry today. See, Ben Simmons. Again, I think I would just rather prefer to play Jimmy Butler just because he's cheaper. But Ben Simmons, if this game stays close, again, he's going to play close to 40 minutes. He definitely still has upside. So I think he's certainly in play. Let's see, Mirotic, again, he's questionable. So if he's out, I'm locking in Randall and then definitely considering Anthony Davis as well as Drew Holiday. Aaron Gordon, I don't know if I want to chase that big game that he had against Miami. The matchup against Denver is not good. Millsap's a pretty good defender here, so I don't know if I want to chase that big game for Aaron Gordon. The salary is decent, though, under 7K Aaron Gordon. You always have to consider him, but I don't think I will be chasing. Let's see. C.D. Osman, 4.5. He's just been kind of been a letdown. At the beginning of the year, he was pretty good, but he just has nights off. He still has upside now every now and again, but I don't know if I can do it at 4.5. So Jerebko, the cheap Golden State bigs with Damian Jones out and Draymond out are pretty much locked into some good minutes. Looney, Jerebko, and Jordan Bell, I all have interest in today. I think definitely playing one, maybe possibly two, is certainly viable in your lineup. Let's see. Bembry at 3.7. I guess, I don't want to go crazy in my Hawks exposure. I'm considering Trae Young, considering Bazemore, John Collins. So I don't want to go too crazy here on my Hawk exposure. Okay, power forward. I'm definitely considering Anthony Davis is one of the studs I want to pay up for. Dallas just is no one that can guard him. DeAndre Jordan will not be able to stay with Anthony Davis. So definitely considering him 11.5. Aldridge, if I had confidence that the Spurs could keep it close, I would love him at 7.8, but they just been getting blown out every single night, so I don't think I can trust that play. Randall, I will lock and load him if Miric's just out. That's just the easiest play of the day. So Jaren Jackson Jr., again, I hate guy like D'Angelo Russell and Jaren Jackson Jr., I hate seeing on the slate just because they're so inconsistent. This guy gets in foul trouble seems like every single game. 12, 38, 43, 7, 50, 28. He has immense upside. I'm kind of torn on what I want to do here with him as well, because if I fade him and he goes off, I think he'll be pretty popular, so I think I'll lose. So again, him and D'Angelo Russell, I'm undecided. I don't know what to do because I think both of them will be pretty popular, and both of them have huge upside, but both of them, again, could easily bust as well. So I don't know. I'm torn on what I want to do there. Let's see. As far as cheap bigs, again, Jerebko, Looney, I really like. Same with Jordan Bell, 3.5K. All those guys are certainly viable. I'm definitely considering, I think I'll play at least one, maybe possibly two for salary relief here. And then Dedmon, this is just more of a salary thing. Washington's one of the worst rebounding teams in the league. And Dedmon at 3.9K, I think he's locked into basically 20 minutes a night with upside. He played 31 against Golden State. Alex Len, sometimes he's in the rotation, sometimes he's out. So, Dedmon, it's just more of a salary thing. In Washington, it's one of the worst rebound teams in the league. So I'm definitely considering him as a cheap play as well as 3.9K. Let's move on to center. So Embiid at 10.3. So I looked up, they did play Toronto early in the year, and Embiid had a good game. He had like 31 points, 11 rebounds, and let's see, I have it up on my phone right now. He had 31 points, 11 boards, 4 assists, and a block. So definitely will take that at 10.3. Again, he's been involved in a couple of blowouts, and then the Memphis, the tough matchup. So I really like that the salary has dropped for Embiid, so I'm definitely considering him. And then Karl Anthony Towns, I love this play. Charlotte has no one that can stay with him. I love targeting bigs against the Hornets. Cody Zeller, if it's Kaminsky, they're not going to be able to stay with Karl Anthony Towns. So I think Towns could have a huge game today at 9.5. So Embiid and Towns, two centers that I'm definitely considering paying up for. Let's see. Drummond, he's just too inconsistent for me. The matchup's good against Milwaukee. There's some blowout risk, though, and then I just don't know if I can trust Drummond. Jokic, he did get that price bump after he had that triple-double. I'm not really afraid of Vucevic defense, so I think Jokic is a pretty good play here at 9.2. And Gary Harris is out, so there's some usage to go around for Denver. Let's see, Marc Gasol at 8.6. He's just playing all the minutes he can handle, basically. So I think he's firmly in play here. This guy's been pretty crazy this year, putting up 40, 59, 52, 41, 57, 58, 47, 51. He did have the off game against Philly. But 8.6, I definitely got to consider Marc Gasol too. So there's a lot of spend-up centers that I really like. Embiid, Towns, and Gasol, I think are all in play. Thompson, he finally got the price bump where I still think he's in play, but I will be fading him against Golden State. Let's see. John Collins, I do really like this play at 6.3. Washington, up and down game, the highest over-under of the night. So this is a perfect game environment for John Collins. So I do really like that play at 6.3. I know he did get a price bump, but I think he's certainly in play. And then Valanciunas, I thought, because I wanted to see how many minutes he got against Philly, I thought they'd give him more minutes, but they ran with Ibaka. Ibaka got 30 minutes, and Valanciunas got 17 the last time he played Philly. So, the salary is definitely enticing at 4.3, but if they're still going to limit him even against Philly, I don't know if I can go there. He did get 4 fouls in that last game, so maybe it was a foul trouble issue, but I don't know. I'm a little undecided Valanciunas, and there is those star centers I do kind of want to pay up for, so I'm a little torn on Valanciunas. I think he's a decent play. And yeah, I think that's it. So I think that's going to do it for today's video, guys. I'm not going to give my core just because I'm a little undecided of what I want to do. There's a lot of good spend ups. You got Westbrook, you got Anthony Davis, then you got Embiid, Towns. but you got inconsistent players like D'Angelo Russell and Jaren Jackson that I'm kind of torn on what I want to do. There is some decent value with the Golden State bigs as well as Deadman. So there is some decent value. Again, I'm not going to give my core just because I'm just a little undecided on what I want to do. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have enjoyed the content, please like this video, subscribe. It really helps me out. If you have any questions, guys, you can leave in the comment section. It's also important to follow me on Twitter. That will be in the description below. If you have any questions, you can always hit me up on Twitter too. And yeah, I think there's 3 games on Thursday tomorrow, so I'll be back then. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.